Sometimes the biggest tragedies aren't sparked by some huge epic battle. Sometimes they're set in motion in a quiet room, during a single, fateful conversation. Today, we're going to dive deep into one of those scenes from Romeo and Juliet. This is the moment marriage is first brought up to Juliet, and believe me, how she and everyone else in that room handles it, well, it basically seals her fate before she even lays eyes on Romeo.
So, the first thing you absolutely have to know is a number. 13. That's Juliet's age. She is just a couple of weeks away from her 14th birthday. Her own mother says it out loud. She's not 14. And that one little fact, it's going to cast a huge shadow over everything that's about to happen.
And that, of course, leads us to the big question of the scene. Is she old enough to get married? I mean, for us, today, the answer is a hard no, obviously. But for her family, for her mother, and her nurse, this is a very, very serious conversation. A rich and powerful man wants to marry her, and you can bet the Capulets are ready to talk business. To really get what's happening here, you've got to look at the three women in the room. You have Juliet, you have her mother, Lady Capulet, who's all about social climbing, and then you have her nurse, who's, well, she's a lot. The dynamic between these three is super complex, and their ideas about love and life are just worlds apart.
See, for Lady Capulet, marriage is basically a business deal. It's about status, period. For the nurse, it's all about the physical side of things. Pleasure, babies, the whole shebang. And then you have Juliet, stuck right in the middle. So when they ask her what she thinks about getting married, she gives this incredibly polite, but also very direct answer.
Her response is just brilliant. It's so layered. She starts off respectful, right? She calls it an honor. But that second part, that I dream not of, that's a flat-out rejection. She's saying, I'm not thinking about it, I'm not wishing for it, I do not want it. She's playing by her mother's polite rules while making it crystal clear that this is not her world. Not yet, anyway. Basically, she's saying, thanks, but I'm going to have to pass. It's the 16th century way of politely turning down something you have zero interest in. She's being the good daughter, but she is absolutely not saying yes. Now, before Lady Capulet can really start putting on the pressure, the whole conversation just takes a wild turn, and it's all thanks to the nurse. She just launches into this long, rambling story that sounds like total nonsense at first. But what it really is this deep, powerful show of her love for Juliet. It shows you who really raised this girl. And this is what's so telling, right? Lady Capulet can't even remember exactly how old her daughter is. But the nurse? Oh, she can pin it down unto an hour. And how does she remember? She ties it to these deeply personal moments. The day she stopped breastfeeding Juliet, a big earthquake that happened that same day, and a time little toddler Juliet fell and hit her head the day before. These aren't just dates. These are the memories of someone who was truly there. So the climax of this whole long story comes down to a joke her late husband told little Juliet after she fell down. He picked her up and basically said, "Oh, you're falling on your face now, are you? Just wait till you're older. You'll be falling on your back." And yeah, it's a pretty crude joke. It's a sexual prediction about her future, and the nurse thinks it is the most hilarious thing she's ever heard. She's been repeating it for 11 years. It just completely shatters the serious, formal vibe that Lady Capulet was trying so hard to create. Lady Capulet tries to get her to stop, but it's not working. But here's the really crucial part. You know who does get the nurse to be quiet? Juliet. Juliet herself. In that one moment, we get this flash of the assertive, powerful woman she's about to become. This is our first real glimpse of the Juliet who will defy everyone and everything for what she wants.
Okay, so the nurse is finally quiet, and Lady Capulet seizes her chance. She launches right into her sales pitch for the suitor, Paris. And listen to how she talks. It's not about love or happiness, nope. It's about looks, status, and how Juliet can complete him. It's a total business proposal.
She starts with this really elaborate metaphor, telling Juliet to look at Paris's face as if it's a book. Think about that. He's not a person to get to know, he's an object to be studied, something to be admired for how perfect it looks. And this line, this tells you everything about Lady Capulet's worldview. Paris is this perfect, unbound book. He's incomplete. And what's he missing? A cover. And who's going to be that cover? Juliet. Her job is just to beautify him, to be the fancy binding on his perfect story. So just as Lady Capulet is wrapping up her elegant, poetic point, who else but the nurse has to jump in with the punchline? Lady Capulet says Juliet will make herself no less by marrying Paris, and the nurse just blurts out, "Not less? No, bigger! Women get bigger from men."
It's another crude joke about getting pregnant, and it just yanks the conversation right back down to earth.
So you can just feel the pressure building on Juliet, right? She's completely boxed in. Her mother is using this cold, poetic logic on her, and her nurse is basically cheering on the physical stuff. Lady Capulet finally demands an answer, and what Juliet says next is one of the smartest lines in the whole play.
Let's break that down. I'll look to like, okay, she agrees to look. That makes her mom happy. But then she adds the condition, if looking, liking move. She's saying, I'll try to like him, but only if looking at him actually makes me feel something. There's no promise in there at all. The power to choose, to actually feel something, stays completely with her.
So, make no mistake, this is not her caving in. This is an incredibly smart, strategic move. On the surface, she's the good, obedient daughter. Sure, Mom, I'll check him out at the party tonight. But really, she's promised absolutely nothing more than a glance. She's bought herself time without giving up an ounce of her own freedom.
And that, of course, is the million-dollar question, isn't it? She agrees to go to the party to look, but what happens when that look, the one that was supposed to be for Paris, ends up landing on the son of her family's mortal enemy? That fragile little deal she just made in this room, it's about to light the fuse on a bomb that will rock all of Verona.